Hi everyone, so today is day 4 back from Germany and treatment with Dr. Renz, and I just want to give you guys an update on how I'm doing. So I went to treatment in November and early December for 4 weeks. I saw a lot of improvements when I was at the clinic. I was able to see again, realized that I haven't been able to read street signs in years, and started getting that fixed. My brain fire symptoms started going away. Used to make me feel like I needed to bang my head open with something to let the pressure out of my skull. Those symptoms started going away. I have neurological Lyme, so I have a lot of neuro symptoms and a bit of arthritis type feeling in my joints as well, and restless leg syndrome, mostly located like in my arms. Those are just a few of the symptoms that I usually experienced, and most of those are gone. I will say my joints and muscles still hurt a bit, just to know if that's Lyme or because I'm incredibly out of shape from not using and moving my body the way I probably should have been because I was sick. So hopefully over the next few months and years, those will continue to improve as well. But only so much of it is Lyme. Some of it is also that I've been stuck in bed or haven't gotten up and gone hiking and exercising. And honestly, I've put on a little bit of weight as well, just from being sick. So, regardless, I saw improvements in December, and then I got a call or text from Dr. Renz stating that my blood test had come back and I was still positive for Lyme. So we did our best to figure out when I could go back the earliest, and that ended up being January 30th. So I had about 7 weeks before I was able to go back to the clinic. During that time, I started deteriorating a lot again. My brain fire symptoms came back, and I just started feeling flu-like all the time, early onset Lyme feelings. My neurological symptoms were largely dissipated, but like standard Lyme, the bullet point list that you look up: fatigue, tired, sleeping all the time, kind of nauseous, just feeling under the weather with like a flu is what I was feeling like again. So went back to doc. I actually went back by myself this time. I'm not saying I would recommend that patients go back to Germany by themselves, but I felt like I had a support system in Germany set up. I had some friends that I had met there that if I had an emergency I could contact, and I had a direct flight to Zurich, so I felt like I could make the flight, get on the train, and have somebody take care of me when I first got to Germany. So that's what I did. It would have been really expensive to take my grandmother back with me again. And I just didn't feel like that was the best financial decision in my situation, and I wanted to see if I could do it. And if I couldn't do it, I, worst case scenario, could send somebody out from the US to come help me. I was able to get through it by myself for the most part. I'll say that there are some things that I was struggling with, such as I have an eating disorder, and treatment really triggers that for me. I'll be making a video about that in the future, but those are all the things that you need to consider before going to treatment by yourself. It's a really big mental game, and it was hard. Luckily this time I made many friends at the clinic. We went out to dinner a few times, and I had enough of a support system there that I was able to get through it by myself. I'll say since being back, I feel like I've been run over with a truck. To say I feel good right now would be a complete and utter lie. However, I don't know how I feel about the fact that I can now wake up early. I feel like a large part of my identity became someone that sleeps in until 11 a.m. or 1 p.m. And about a week into treatment this past time, I was there for 3 weeks, so about 2.5 weeks ago now, I started waking up at like 7 o'clock in the morning and couldn't go back to sleep. And since being back, that has stayed. I'm not quite sure how long that will last, and if that's a time zone thing, or if it's that I don't require as much sleep anymore because I'm not as sick as I used to be. I'll say it's a little odd, and it's going to take some adjusting. But we'll see, because I start a new job next week. That's going to require me to be up early, so I guess I'm glad that I'm not struggling with that anymore. As far as actual treatment went, it was hard. I called my best friend, and we had a conversation after I had a particularly interesting day at the clinic where I spent 45 minutes on the toilet, writhing in pain, and having diarrhea. And I called her laughing, and I said, I don't say this because each and every day seems to be objectively worse than the day before. And, we had a conversation about, how much worse could it really get? And you know what? I had about 3 days out of the 15 days of treatment where I could say, those were good treatment days, and the rest of them, something weird happened. Whether it was my glucose dropped really quick and I felt like trash, or, it wasn't dropping, or my veins were giving out, or I was having diarrhea, or it was cramping, among plenty of other things. I had several drug interactions while I was at the clinic. I've been taking doxycycline now for well over 9 years and never had a problem. Can't take doxycycline anymore. So Doc and I had to work around that and figure out another solution for me on that route. So with that said, if you have drug interaction issues, Doc definitely works with you on those. I have several now that I did not have before. So, treatment's just gotten more interesting. It's interesting every day. I'll say that my spirits were high. Emotionally, I was great. Physically, complete other story. It was just interesting. That's all I can say on that. Since being back, the first thing I did when I got home was go to the ER with back spasms from one of my medications. Doc knows. He's the one who sent me to the ER. So that was unexpected. That certainly does not happen to most patients at all. I'm fine. But I'll say that, as I mentioned, I feel like I've been run over with a truck. Even though I feel better, and I did in fact get test results back that say I am in remission for Lyme, Babesia, Bartonella, Mycoplasma, I still have to continue treatment at home. I have several medications that I brought home with me. I'll be continuing IVs once a week, and I have a pill that I take every day to help me get over some stuff. I still have a virus that I'm fighting, so we're working on that still. But, even though I'm technically in remission and I'm just trying to sustain my immune system at this point, the medications that we took at the clinic are really hard on your body. And they are physically exhausting to take. So you can see the bags under my eyes. I didn't wear makeup today. I want you guys to see what I actually look like. I struggle with migraines. I find that intense amounts of antibiotics trigger my migraines. So since coming home for the past 3 days, I've been pretty incapacitated. It was really hard for me to get up out of bed today, but I did it anyway, which is how I've lived most of my life with Lyme. I get up because I have to get up because I want to be part of life. I'll be talking about that as well. But I am hopeful I'm going to get better. I'm well aware that my migraines that I'm having right now are, for me, specifically triggered by the amount of medication, and not necessarily withdrawal, but flushing my system, detoxing. I'm enjoying this lovely drink of pure cranberry juice and lemon juice and water that I've been drinking religiously since being back. It seems to be helping, but my poop is now green, so I don't know. Treatment isn't a glorious thing, and I'm hoping to make a video in the next week, and then when I start my new job, and keep you guys posted, 1 month, 3 months out, 6 months out when I stop my medications, and keep you guys updated on things that you're interested in. But, detoxing from treatment doesn't feel good. I certainly do not recommend coming home and doing something immediately. I gave myself a solid week, for me to get back used to the time zone again. And I don't even know if a week's going to be enough time, but I'm going to figure out how to make it work because I start work next week and I'm starting a new journey on my life. It's been 9 years now with Lyme. Got sick in 2015. Is it 9? No, that's 7. I can't do math. Still working on that symptom. I think it's 7 years. I don't know. 2015 to now, struggling with, Lyme and feeling sick. I'm going back to college in August, starting a job at an autism center in town, working through some other diagnoses that I have. I still have some symptoms that Dr. Renz doesn't think are Lyme. So I'll be going on an adventure to figuring out what my hyperflexibility and my migraine symptoms are. So I might keep you guys posted on that as well. The other side of this is I'm going to have Lyme for the rest of my life. Dr. Renz is very clear on that. I believe I've been very clear on that. I'm in remission, which just means that the Lyme levels in my body are at a low detection rate. It does not mean that I am cured. It does not mean that this is not something that I'll have to keep in check. I'm going to have to keep me and my future spouse cleared of Lyme in order to stay healthy for the rest of my life. And I participate in Scouts. So I'm part of the Boy Scouts of America. And so it's not only my job to protect myself now, but it's also my job to protect the Scouts and the youth that I interact with regularly. So if you're interested in how to protect yourself when you're outside and, Dr. Renz recommendations, there is a video coming out very soon where Doc and I will be talking about his beliefs on treatment and other things. It was just, there were many patients that were struggling this past time. I was definitely one of those patients. Doc was opening up the new clinic in Spain, and so we did not get around to filming that video last week. I'm very sorry. I had several medical problems last week. Was incapacitated in the evenings and not capable of doing that. So hopefully he'll get on Zoom with me in the next week or so and we'll be able to get that video up. But if you have any questions or are interested in following my Lyme journey after reaching remission and what that looks like to sustain treatment back home and how I move forward with my health journey and maintaining, health, which even for me, I'm healthy and I'm still stuck at home with migraines. So, health means something different to everyone. But for me, I feel much better. Being able to wake up in the morning is something I was told by many doctors would never be part of my story. So we'll see how long that stays. Yeah, love you all. Bye.